Okay, this way. All right, hi guys. My name is Shayla. I make these videos every Wednesday, and today I'm interviewing my friend Ashley. She has been traveling in this travel trailer for the past 3 years, and before that, her and her husband went all over the place. So I wanted to ask her a little bit about it. She wanted to show her cute little cat. Shirkan. He's not interested. He just wants to leave. So I'm gonna ask her questions about what they do, how they do it, like all the time, because that's the question that I get asked all the time is like, how do you travel full time? Well, now we're gonna get another person's perspective and do a little trailer tour.
Yep.
We're in Bozeman, Montana. I'm here. I'm going to a travel blogging conference tomorrow, but in Billings, but today I'm in Bozeman and we're gonna make some jewelry, which I'm super excited about. You know that I wanna like get a new hobby. Well, Ashley knows how to do it, so she's my guru.
Yes.
So show me your crib.
Okay.
What?
And if you can't tell, it's raining.
Yeah, it is raining. Whoops.
This is a travel trailer, which means it doesn't have an engine. You just pull it. And it's 21 feet in case you're curious. It is a pretty rainy
Let's
day.
leave this open so we have some
Okay.
light. Okay. So let's do the tour first, I guess.
Right when you walk in, this is our kind of like bedroom area. I live here with husband Lucas and our cat, who you saw. This is really the only closet, and this is for Luke. You'll see where my clothes are in just a sec. Otherwise, we just have like some storage over here. This is the bed. It's the queen, which is actually kind of surprising.
Oh wait, I can turn this around. I was like, it's hard and there we go. So much better. Okay.
Yeah, so we have clothes storage. We mostly keep like sweaters and jeans and pants up there.
Yep.
And then here's our kitchen. It's pretty much a full kitchen. We don't have an oven though, which I do miss being able to bake. I'm not a huge baker, but it'd be nice to like make a pizza once in a while. But it's okay. We have a microwave. We have a 2-burner propane stove.
Cool.
And essentially a mini fridge.
Perfect.
Which surprisingly is just perfectly for 2 people.
Okay.
This is our little coffee making station. We do French press up in here.
Yeah, that's what I had for breakfast, and it was amazing.
Yeah. I love French press. But yeah, this is kind of all we have for dishes. We have a small pot, a big pot, a cast iron skillet, 2 regular sized plates, a small one, 2 bowls, and some cups.
Cool.
So
we have a kitchen here.
It's kind of nice.
Bedroom here. And then
moving along, this is kind of our living room area, I guess you'd say.
Dining room, living room.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at all the different like layouts that you could get for this size, which is the size we kind of settled on because it's not too much of a commitment to pull.
Yeah.
This is what sold us on this one. A lot of them have like a little 2-seater table against the side, or just something smaller, but this is the only one when we were shopping that had this huge of a window.
Yeah.
Which right now we're obviously backed up against a hill, and I don't hate it. It's awesome. It's really like a really tranquil scene, but it is really cool when you're traveling. You can park it like at different national parks and stuff.
Oh yeah. I know that window's huge. You can't really see it from what I'm.
Yeah, pretty much spans the whole thing. And then this table's pretty big. You can comfortably seat 4, probably like 5 or 6 if you really wanted to cram them in, but I really like that. And then since I do make jewelry,
which we're going to do in a little bit, we got these tools to make. I mean, my tools aren't here, but stuff. Yeah, some extra safety equipment.
And
then you have
my little bench. I take it down and I put it back up, but I don't really want to pay for a studio space, so like this is it.
And then your little extra office space.
This is a little pantry where we keep our dry food. Yeah, and then just like office / other stuff. Do you want to see the bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the bathroom. We don't have the shower hooked up just because to run hot water is kind of hard in the winter.
Yeah.
So this is my closet. We have a toilet here, sink, basic stuff. But if you look right here, this is where I keep all my jewelry making stuff.
Oh, nice.
So I'm excited one day that I could just leave it out on a bench.
Yeah.
And walk up to it. But for now, you have to take everything out, set it up. But yeah, that's it. As far as showering, we shower at the gym, which is a really good excuse to get to the gym.
Yeah.
Not ideal, but
that's what I asked her, because I got here in my element and I was like, Ashley, I know you're going to know where to shower because you live in a trailer. Do you have one in your trailer? She's like, I can give you my gym pass. And I was like, perfect.
Yep.
So, okay. So what the other thing I want to do is kind of talk about, like, she's been doing this for 3 years with her husband. They've lived in, well, I'll let you tell the story. So we're going to just sit down and have a little bit of a story time. For like the next couple minutes, give you a quick little thing. So, where just gonna sit here. We checked the lighting was the best here. So if you're just tuning in, I'm interviewing my friend Ashley, who we've been friends since elementary school, but we haven't probably seen each other for 10 years before
Yeah, we couldn't
this.
figure it out.
But it was just kind of like, we picked right back up. It was like, oh, haven't seen you in forever, but hey. And so I am on my way to Billings. Well, I'm on my way back to Billings. I kind of came further to come to Ashley, but I wanted to start jewelry making, and Ashley does that. And so I was like, can you teach me how to use my tools and stuff? So I'm here with her, and I was like, you know what, let's go live and I can ask you some questions about what you do.
Sure.
Because most of my questions that I get, do you want to scoot closer so you're
Sure. Yeah.
So most of the questions that I get are like, how do you travel full time? How do you do this? And for me, I am even like, I don't know how people do this. So I like to interview other people.
Just do it.
Yeah. So I like to interview other people and see how they do it and give you guys ideas for different ways that you can do it, because you guys have done international travel. You tell how it all started.
So basically it started, we finished college and we moved out to Colorado, and we lived in Summit County, Colorado for a couple of years, and we decided that we wanted to pretty much just travel as much as we could while we were still young. So we pretty much just saved up, and then our first trip we went to Asia, which is, I think, a pretty easy first place to go.
Yeah, because it's affordable, and yeah, I agree.
People are so accommodating, it's warm, you don't need you don't need to pack a lot.
And you don't need a ton of money. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive to get out there, but once you're there, you can get like good food for pretty cheap. So then you came back, and then when did you decide to buy the trailer?
So we came back, and we didn't want to just go straight back to Colorado. We wanted to kind of see more of the country, and we knew one day we would buy land or buy a house. So we're like, let's just go make sure we kind of know this country and where we want to live in it. And so the first place we decided to go after that was upstate New York, because I have a college friend, Molly, who lives up there. And basically we just bought the travel trailer because it was the easiest kind of way to get out there without signing a lease and like paying rent and all that stuff, because we just wanted to be there for the summer. And then when we bought it, a good tip if you're going to buy an RV, if you can get out to the Midwest, it's a really good place to buy it, because we were shopping out in Colorado, and it's ours was a couple $1,000s cheaper. Wow. Because we bought it where they manufacture it, which was in Michigan for this one. So we just picked it up, and then.
But one thing that you said was interesting that I thought it was, they had a budget that they wanted to do for their rent, and then they just multiplied it by 12, and that was their budget for buying a trailer. And I think that's really smart. And I kind of want to get into some of the budget stuff that you have, because that's like super tangible things of like, how do you save money? How do you afford this? How do you do these things? And you explained some of that to me. So after New York, where else have you lived? For like, because you lived about a year in each spot, right?
Yeah. So after New York, we did a little bit of a road trip, and we got ourselves all the way out to Bend, Oregon. We lived there for a year and a half. We saved up again, and then we did a bike packing trip in Europe for 3 months.
Bike packing, meaning they bike.
We lived off our bikes.
Yeah.
Like bags, saddlebags, like everything.
Which is wild.
Which was awesome. It was a good way to be able to afford to do Europe, because, we saw like 8 or 9 countries, I don't remember, but we were able to afford it, and that's not like,
and camping and
with camping, that saved us a lot, and being able to bring our little camp stove, and we just got.
And I feel like there's something, because when I go travel, I always like getting mopeds or like the motos. It's a completely different experience being like in the environment instead of like in a car or in a bus or a train. But so I can imagine in a bike, it was just like you were in it, and I think that's such a cool way to do it.
Because like if you take public transportation, you have to like kind of shut down. You're just like, just get me there.
Yeah.
But when you're like your face is in the wind, you're like, okay, we see everything here.
So you did a bike packing trip, and then you moved to.
So we actually got married almost exactly a year ago. So we spent the summer in Minnesota, and that was like 4 months. And then we moved out here.
Cool.
And we've been in Bozeman for almost a whole year.
So you did New York, Colorado, now Montana, and then internationally you did Asia and Europe. So that's because what they do is they live somewhere for a year, and then they work in that spot for the year, and then they just live out of their travel trailer. They rent the space, basically, like get a hookup so that they can hook up like with water.
Yep.
You get the hookup.
Water, electric, septic if you can.
And so then the rent is cheap. They have this space, and then they can just be like, okay, we're done with the year. We're going to go somewhere new. So it's just like such a sustainable way to be able to live in a bunch of different places and travel around the country. I just think it's super cool. So she was telling me a little bit about how they, what are we at? We're at 10 minutes, so let's do like another 3.
Okay.
So she was telling me a little bit about how they do budgeting and like plan basically to be able to afford these things, because we have very similar mindsets about money, where it's like, it's not necessarily how much you make, but how much you're spending. And so if you're, well, you go ahead and kind of explain what you explained.
I guess for us, the way we kind of structured off of is trying to make our life structured in a way that we don't have to spend, like we're spending as least as we can. So buying this travel trailer was awesome because we typically spend about $400 a month, and living in places like Colorado, Bozeman, and these towns they're growing and they're becoming more expensive. So, you know, rent is going to be at least $600.
Right.
So pretty much if we can just shave down any costs on things that we have to spend. So we kind of budget ourselves. We figure out how much we make.
But you said you have 2 lists.
Yeah.
Right?
So the first list is a list of everything we have to pay for. So that's like gas, groceries, rent, student loan bills, phone bills, all the things that you're like literally just surviving off of. If you didn't have any fun or do anything extra, you have to pay those to live in America, or, you know, whatever, in this life.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we start. So we make that list, and that's a number. Like we have to be able to make that number. And then we take how much we make, which like Luke's a salesman, I'm a waitress. So it's kind of varied.
Yeah.
But you can get a good estimate. And then the gap in between that is, on the best month, that's how much we can spend every month.
So let's make up numbers. So let's say your expenses are $1,000. Let's say you and him are making, I don't know, $3,000. So now you're saying you've got $2,000 to work with. That's the money that you have that you can save, or that you can buy a new fridge, or you can like work with, right?
Yeah.
So figuring out kind of your margin of money to work with. And then from there, kind of figuring out what you want personally. Do you want to go to Thailand and you know that you need this amount of money to save for the next year? Or do you want a new pair of shoes? Or do you want to go out to a $300 dinner? Like those things are all okay. And I think that that's something that people are like, oh, you bought $1,000 shoes. I would never buy $1,000 shoes, but I know people personally that are very happy when they buy their $1,000 shoes. And I'm like, cool. I'm cool. I'm happy buying a $1,200 plane ticket, and people are like, that's so expensive. I'm like, not to me.
Yeah.
So I think it's just figuring out what the extra things you want to spend money on, right?
Yeah, I think it is like, all of those things were like, I wish I could afford that. I wish I had money for that. Whatever that is for you, like you're saying, maybe it's travel, maybe it's like adding onto your house, maybe it's having a kid, maybe it's buying shoes, like whatever it is, there's things you want to be able to afford. And I think the first step is just really being honest, aware of where you're at with your money. So if you are like, okay, I can save $200 a month, or I can save $2,000, like whatever, then you can actually start to plan your life. And when you kind of have it out on paper, you're more accountable, because you start to realize like, oh, I just went out to eat, that was $50. Maybe it was worth it, but I just know that.
Well, that's happened. Your splurge, right? You guys said that you do
we do like to go out to eat, so like, and we don't have an oven, so usually it's pizza.
Yeah.
But like once a week we go out to eat.
Yeah.
And we're pretty, you know, still pretty frugal. We're not like eating bottles of wine and sushi.
Right.
But yeah, that's like,
but I think
that's in
important.
column B of things like
extras.
So yeah, the first column is things you have to have. The second is like, yeah, but you're still human. You want to go out to eat. You maybe want to go shopping. Like, you like to gift. You maybe want to buy gifts every month for people's birthdays. Like, those are okay too, but just
being aware of it, I think, is what's most important. Cool. So let's see. I'm going to look at the comments to see if you guys have any questions.
People comment?
Yeah. I just don't know. Oh, here we go.
Look at all of them.
So we have, you're in Billings for the TBEX conference. Yes, I am. Very good. I'm from Montana. Hey, Todd.
Hi, Todd.
Ricky, girls. Hi from Australia. Hi, Australia.
Belgium. I love Belgium.
Is that what's BXL? Billings? I don't know. Belgium. It's me, Ernest. Wait, is that a motorhome? I want to travel.
Drink some beer for me if you're in Belgium.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to travel, so I enlisted. See, that's another way to travel. There's so many different ways. As Shayla knows, I'm around a ton of college students. I'm shocked at how much money people are spending to eat out every month. Exactly, like, and especially in a college town, like, you do not have money. In college, my rule was if it's free, it didn't have calories. I gained a good 15 pounds in my freshman year, but like,
You gotta
honestly,
eat.
but you go to these, they're like, come for free pizza at the club. And I was like, I'll join the club for some free pizza.
This person wants to come to Big Sky.
Oh yeah, it's a huge destination for me. Yeah, it's really pretty here.
Yeah.
Well, it's foggy, so I don't even really know.
I know, it's been raining.
Hi from Canada. What's the best kind of job to do this way of life? I think that like a service job. So like what you're doing with waitressing, bartending, massage, if you have some sort of like service that you can provide, that's
I feel like tip jobs are nice too.
in the US.
It depends on where you live, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like, it sucks because I've pretty much put off ever starting a career. But I've still been able to, it's always been worth it. I've still been able to like travel and do what I've wanted to do. But when you move every year and a half, you have to get creative about it. So I've always waitress, and then I do jewelry on the side, and that's kind of like my thing. But waitressing is awesome.
Yeah.
Because if you're social, you get to like meet people.
Totally, yeah.
And
it's like a built-in friend group with the people that you work with.
and you can do it everywhere. Yeah, totally. It's a good way to get into the town.
So how is living in a travel trailer in the winter? She's got a heater in here.
Good question. We don't go south. So we've lived in places that have like full-on winters. This one, you can get travel trailers that are winterized. They're made from the beginning to be like insulated. But we pretty much just put like a heating pad on our gray water tank. Anything that could freeze, we put heat tape on our all the pipes that we could access, so those wouldn't freeze. We put like just those kind of like papery insulation. I don't know what they are, but like the bubble wrap insulation, we put those on in all the cabinets that we could.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So we've kind of just enclosed ourselves, but it's a battle between locking everything in and keeping it warm, but also getting some breathability, because otherwise you'll get mold.
Oh,
so
right.
you kind of just have to run the heater a lot and know that you're leaking a lot of heat, but like,
yeah,
it's fine.
Someone else said, do you have solar panels?
No, my husband wants them though.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be great.
I think he knows exactly what he wants to do. We just haven't done it yet.
Cool.
But that'd be cool.
Okay, so I want to show, I'm going to turn this around for the last little bit. This is the fall collection. Okay, so look at these cool things that do you care if I show any of this?
No, this is kind of my little storage. So
like this is what I want. This kind of stuff is what I want to make. Isn't this beautiful? So she's got this. She's got all of these up on this thing. This cool. I really like this one too. I'm just going to, will you hold this?
Oh, sure.
I'm just going to put them all on here. But like, okay, I'm obsessed with turquoise. That's like really what I want to work on.
Who isn't? It's
but
timeless.
Like, that's so cute. Well, this is mine. But like, that's so cool. All of these are just so cool. I'm totally loving them all. But aside from the turquoise rings that I'm obsessed with, she also does these really dope earrings. And this, she hasn't even released yet, you guys. This is the fall collection. And what I think is so cool, she told me that she was out in the mountains and she saw the ombre sky, and that's like what inspired this. And then each of these are different constellations, which I think is the coolest. And then she added like the forest, and I don't know. I think, right?
Definitely, yeah, they're definitely, the color schemes, the colorways are all really inspired by my summer under the big sky, like in Montana. Can you recognize any of these constellations?
Well, you told me this one's Scorpio, because that's what I am.
Yeah, it's called Scorpius.
Yeah,
that's what the internet says.
Same. The constellations.
Thanks, Miss. Shoot, I don't know how to say that. Legoon?
Yeah.
Anyways,
what's this one?
So these are all constellations. That's Cygnus. It looks like a cross in the sky, kind of. So we're looking at that one's a Big Dipper. And then this is the Northern Crown.
So cool. So when are these releasing, Ashley?
I don't remember. I'm on a family trip, so within a week or two.
Okay.
But yeah, I was gonna have a thing where you can pick your colorway on the bottom, like what color it fades from. And then you can pick your constellation, and all these constellations are visible in the autumn night sky.
Cool.
So it's kind of why I did it. And you can also see a little moon here.
I love this.
My little...
Cool.
Pattern. It's hard to see in some lights. But.
Yeah, and I like these up here too. These are old ones?
Yep, those are kind of more classic designs. But
love it.
Yeah, I do all the silversmithing myself.
Yeah.
Which is cool because I can make custom it whatever I want.
Totally.
And then I do the beadwork as well. So
then her Instagram and her website are in the description below, so you can check it all out. But I think that's a wrap. If you guys have any questions, will you go? Do you have a YouTube? Like,
No, I don't have a YouTube.
Can you comment on YouTube?
Yeah, I have an
Okay,
account.
so if you have any questions, put them below, and then Ashley can go in and respond.
I will, yeah.
Okay. I don't see any
Never
other
thought about that.
questions. So, okay, cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got some ideas about different ways that you can travel the world or the country. Basically, they go and live for a place for a year, make some money. Between each place, they go international travel. So, exciting. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.